guys, welcome back to another Art and Talk. I hope you're doing well. Today's topic, I wanted to propose a question to you, and that question is, what if it's simpler than you think it is? What if it's easier than you think it is? And I want to start this by giving a little story, and I pray that God speaks through me and I'm able to really touch you with this story and help you understand, for those of us who are always high functioning and who are so used to survival mode, that things can get easier for us, things will get easier for us, and that we don't always have to carry such a heavy load. So, some background story. If you've listened to my last video, I titled it Dare to Hope Again. And in that audio, I was talking about how there's an opportunity that I really want, and it's very competitive, and I'm just really daring to hope again, even though I feel like all my hope has been lost, even though I feel like I've been so miserable and I just feel like everything around me has been collapsing. There's this opportunity that I really want, and God made me forfeit an opportunity that would have been a good thing, but it wouldn't have been a God thing. And the opportunity that He made me forfeit was a safe option. It was an option that required me to stay small. It was an option that required me to not really have to hope, because I knew I would get the opportunity, and I did. And so, long story short, I declined a job opportunity, and I went to another job opportunity, and everything was going wrong that day. I got on the bus downtown to the job opportunity, and the bus broke down literally 10 minutes before my interview. I would have been exactly on time. The bus broke down. I was panicking, so then I called an Uber. The Uber ended up taking 6 minutes to get there, so it would have been easier for me to just walk. And when the Uber came, I ended up spending money on an Uber for a 2-minute drive, only to still get to the job interview late. And I get up there, and because of all this happening, the bus breaking down, the Uber situation, all of this happening, I forgot what I practiced for my interview. I just wasn't even in the right headspace. And so I was sitting there, and I was just like, God, this is an opportunity that I want so bad. And so I ended up doing the interview, and I was honest with the interviewers. I was like, my bus broke down, and it was just, I think I did good. I was like, I would rate myself like a 6.5 or a 7 out of like how I did on the interview. And like, obviously we're our own worst critics, so we're always going to be super harsh towards ourselves. But I remember I left the interview, and like the minute I walked out the building, I just started crying, and I was just walking aimlessly downtown crying, because I was like, this is the one opportunity I wanted the most. And of course the bus broke down. Of course the Uber came late. Of course I forgot everything I practiced. And I was just like, this morning I just declined an opportunity that would have been safe for me to take, and I don't even know that I'm gonna get this job now. And so I was just really hopeless. And I remember walking to the park, and I sat on the bench, and I was just telling God, like, I am in desperate need of a win. I have been sitting in misery. Everything has been collapsing around me. Like, if I don't get this win, I don't know if I can recover from this. Like, I've just been losing a lot. But I ended up surrendering that to Him, and I went home. And when I went home, I just continued on with my day, because I truly surrendered it to Him. And before I continue with that story, I'm gonna breach in and tell you that I just did church online, and it was Sarah Jakes Roberts. I will link the video in the cards or in the description down below. And she was talking about her video was titled "To the Woman Who Pours Into Everyone," and she was just talking about how we need to learn to sit with God, and how we need to learn when it's time to stop pouring and to sit and to be refilled. And I really resonated with the word, because she was saying, like, in the midst of our anxiety and in the midst of everything we're going through, we try to fill the void with work. We try to fill the void with people, and we don't trust that if we sit with God, He can carry what we're carrying, right? We don't trust that. She said, like, when we're afraid to sit with him, we think that the grief is going to be more than his grace, right? So we think that the grief is going to overtake us, or the shame is going to overtake us. And I don't know about you, but that's something I definitely struggle with. I'm like, sometimes I'm afraid to go sit with God, because I'm one of those people who, I know that he knows everything that I'm feeling. I know that he knows everything that I'm thinking, everything that I'm going through. But sometimes I'm just afraid to sit with him, because I'm like, I don't want to confront this grief. I don't want to confront this shame. And when we say stuff like that, we put too much of the focus on ourselves, and we forget that even though we don't have enough of a capacity to hold that, he does. And when you're used to surviving so much, and when you're used to just making it through and constantly functioning and constantly trying to get things together, like when you're so used to always having to survive and always having to get things the hard way, it's really hard to believe that things can happen simply for you. It's hard to believe that you can get a good thing and you don't have to struggle or toil for it. And for me, that's like one of the biggest struggles that I have, is like, if I get something and I didn't suffer for it, I don't think it's going to last. I don't think it's going to be effective. Like, I don't think it's significant, because I'm like, I didn't struggle for this, which means I don't deserve it. And that's a survival mindset where we feel like we have to be on the brink of life and death in order to get a good thing. And so that's why I posed this question. What if it was simple? What if the answer was simple? What if it's going to be more simple than you think it is? A lot of the times we think that we have to survive and struggle and strive to get things, but what if God just wants to use your little yes? What if God just wants to use your little act of obedience? What if he just wants to use the moment that you had with him when you sat with him to propel you forward? And I feel like we need to learn to stop sleeping on what God can do with the little things we do. You coming to God and being honest with him and being courageous enough to tell him that I don't like life right now. I am tired. I am angry with you. I feel like everything's falling apart. Being a Christian and walking with you is hard, and sometimes it feels like it sucks because I don't have any friends. I don't have anybody to turn to. Like, when we do that, God honors those little things, and he can use a little moment like that and completely change your finances. He can use a little moment like that and bring you into a community that will be with you for the rest of your life. He can use a little moment like that and propel your business. And I think we always, when we think of like, okay, my business needs to be successful, we think of having to do years of work. And obviously, like, there's going to be times where you have to work for things, but sometimes what took somebody, or what usually will take the world 12 years or 10 years to build up, will take you 6 months, because you're doing it with God. And sometimes, where people think you're going to always have to do such hard work to get something, you really just have to sit at the feet of God, and he can bring it about that day, now, 0 to 5 seconds. And so that's where the question comes in. What if it's going to be easier than you think? What if you're heavy right now? Or what if you're weighed down with anxiety because you're anticipating a reality that doesn't exist? What if you're waiting for something bad to happen and nothing bad is going to happen at all? Sometimes we confuse ourselves because we put ourselves in this position of grief and there's nothing to grieve, but we make up these scenarios in our head to make sense of why our season isn't as hard as we think it should be. Why God is being more gracious to us than we think he should be being. And I think a big part of it is that sometimes we'll try to protect ourselves by pretending that we don't want something, that we don't want God to pull through for us, that we don't want that opportunity that bad, or we don't want this community that bad, or we don't want healing that bad. Because when we protect ourselves by pretending that we don't want it as bad as we do, it creates a buffer to where we're like, okay, well, if I pretend that I don't want it as bad as I do, then that will make space to protect me in case God doesn't pull through. Because if God doesn't pull through, then I can be like, okay, that's fine, I didn't want it that bad. And so we try to pretend and try not to be honest about what we really want, but it's that honesty that God works with. When he knows that we're bold and we're courageous enough to come to his feet and really ask for what he wants, he's ready and he's open to giving us exactly what we want, especially if it aligns with his will. Now, we also have to be honest about our motives. Like, sometimes I'll ask God for something, I'll be, God, to be honest with you, I want this because of this reason, and it's, the intention isn't good, but me bringing it to God gives God the opportunity to change something that was negative into something that was good. And so I encourage you to sit and then pour. Sit in the presence of God and then pour out your passion. Sit in the presence of God and then pour out your creativity. Sit in the presence of God and then pour out your heart. And so to end off this video, I want to tell you about the conclusion of this job. So like I said, once I finished the interview, cried right away and just felt really down. And I got a call. I got a no caller ID call. And I was like, okay, not answering it. Then I got it again. And then I answered it and there was nobody talking, so I cut the phone and I'm like, this is probably somebody I know prank calling me. And then I look at the number and I'm like, wait, then I go to my messages and I'm like, I got a voicemail and it was like, hi, this is this and this person from the place that I just did the interview. So I was like, oh my goodness. So as I'm calling and the phone's ringing, in my mind, the first thought that comes up to my head is, what if she's calling me to tell me that I didn't get the job? And now, in what world, and you tell me, will a job ever call you? Because she has my email too. Will a job ever call you and be like, hey, so we actually didn't pick you? No job does that. If they're going to decline you, they send an email. No one ever calls you to tell you you didn't get the job. Well, at least that's my experience. And so I call back and I'm like, hey, did you call me? And she goes, yes, I did call you. And I just wanted to say thank you for coming in for an interview. And then in my mind, I'm preparing for the worst. And she says, I was just wondering if you would like to be one of our summer students. And I was like, that would be lovely. I would love to. And so she just starts telling me about the contract and everything like that. And I cut the phone and I immediately get on the floor and I just say, God, thank you. I needed this win. And literally this happened I got the job the day of the interview. The day I thought everything was crumbling, everything was going to take forever, everything was going to be hard. I thought I wasn't going to get this job. I just denied another job, so now I have to fend for myself. And I really needed this, and God gave it to me. And so I hadn't made an audio on that day because I'm still processing that I got the job this easily. I literally didn't have any experience. I submitted a resume and a cover letter. They said only people that were interested in will get an interview. They contacted me. I went the day of. I felt like I flunked it. And the day of, they called me to offer me the job. And so I say all of that to say, don't count yourself out, and it's going to be simpler than you think. And what if it's simpler than you think, right? What if you've been praying for God to remove this heavy burden of anxiety from you, and you think it's going to take God putting you in multiple hard situations for you to overcome anxiety? And what if that prayer was the thing that was needed for you to overcome anxiety? We don't recognize how big of a God we serve, and we don't recognize how sovereign He is and what He can do with His strength and within His power. We're so limited, and a lot of the times we'll limit Him too. But what if it was simple? What if what you're asking for is easy? What if it's simple? Whenever you're going back and forth about whether you're going to get something or not, or whether something's going to work out, ask yourself, what if it was simple? So I thank you for listening to this today, and of course you can pick my brain in the comments below and let me know what you think. And thank you for coming to another Art and Talk, and I hope to see you back next week.